My research and paper focuses on Russian imperialism in the post-Soviet era, specifically exploring ways in which Putin has utilized different imperialist tactics in different circumstances. Although the former Soviet states are no longer directly under Russian control, Russia still continues to exert influence in what it calls the near abroad, or the post-Soviet sphere. How Russia exerts this influence, however, varies depending on the area, with different tactics being used in different circumstances. The most heavy-handed tactics have been used in dealing with Ukraine, and it seems that those actions are connected to a long and intricate history and shared identity of Russians and Ukrainians. In recent years, Putin has put more of an emphasis on what he calls the Ruski Mir, or the Russian world, which includes Ukraine as well as Belarus. Since Putin has taken office, we can see examples of Russia exerting its influence in different locations, but its emphasis has been on Ukraine, specifically regions with high populations of ethnic Russians. My research focused on three key events which demonstrate how Putin has utilized informal, formal, as well as identity imperialism. The Second Nagorno-Karabakh War was an armed conflict fought between Armenia and Azerbaijan over a region that geographically lies in Azerbaijan but has a large population of Armenians. Russia intervened in the war by providing both Armenia and Azerbaijan with weapons, in addition to sending peacekeepers into the area, peacekeepers which are still in the area today. Eventually, Russia brokered peace between Armenia and Azerbaijan, making sure that Russian interests were met. Although Russia was not directly involved in the area or in the war, Putin used a type of informal imperialism to protect Russian interests and influence in the Caucasus region. The 2014 annexation of Crimea was a more blatant imperialist move made by Putin. In 2014, about 67.9% of Crimea were ethnic Russians, which was the justification Putin used for the annexation. A referendum was held, and in the official annexation speech given by Putin following the referendum, he stated that over 96% of the population supported returning to Russian rule, although officials in other nations, as well as Ukraine, were skeptical of the accuracy of the number. Ukrainians, as well as other people in other former Soviet states, were concerned that Russian imperialism would not stop with Crimea. And in some ways, they were right, because 8 years later, Russia invaded Ukraine, again citing the large portion of ethnic Russians in the areas they were invading, as well as the shared history between Russia and Ukraine. Putin has stated he does not want to recreate the USSR. He simply wants to unite the Ruski Mir and is using what can be considered identity imperialism to do so. The changes in imperialism tactics coming from Russia with an emphasis on identity is dangerous because it is ideologically motivated and not easily deterred. Putin's actions have not only affected the near abroad, but also the rest of the world. It is possible a new type of imperialism is emerging, one which could be embraced by other nations in the future.